Alright, and welcome back everyone to today's stream. We will be playing a bit of Satisfactory again, as per usual. We are basically up to the point now where we are having the bits and pieces for the space elevator for levels 5 and 6 being supplied. I set those up between streams, so I'll show you our progress so far with that, and we will continue from there. And yeah, so right now it's just a sheer thing of waiting for it to actually load, as per usual. And yeah, the big plan is today, get to the next level and start playing around with that. I haven't done a lot with levels 5 and 6 myself before, so this will be interesting. Here we are. So, we're standing on the space elevator, and currently we have 140 of the versatile frameworks supplied to the space elevator and 41 of the automated wiring, which means that we've got a bit of a while before this actually gets finished. So our lovely little supply lines over here, I upgraded these to Mark III, I believe. I did, yep, that's why we're having fun running on it. If you don't have the little running legs, these guys, the Blade Runners on, I'm pretty sure you can't actually run on these. So, as you can see, this is producing. We've got stators, which are getting produced upstairs and getting dropped down to it. And we've also got cable, which we previously already set up. This one here, we've got the modular frames. We've just got a facility up there making them. And now with all our extra steel getting made, we've easily got tons and tons of steel beams now, which is absolutely awesome. And so we've still got a bit of work down here to deal with the belts. Upstairs, we can simply come up. Probably could have taken the hypertube, but oh well. Here we go. We'll have a look here. And every one of these boxes, I'm pretty sure, are actually chock-a-block full of steel. They are. Now, as you can see, they're not getting supplied anywhere currently. So we'll actually set that up now. And we'll actually get that going over to the factory. So we can actually start turning it into things like the steel beam and steel pipe. So this one here is making our encased industrial beam. I actually stopped this for a while so that we could actually have a nice build-up of steel beams for basically to do the belt upgrading and also for this current construction project. As you can see, this is the lovely supply line of steel beams and steel pipe coming around to our lovely little assemble over here, which is making our stators, which takes our copper wire, which as you know we've got plenty of, and the steel pipe. And these all just run down to our very temporary machines just to get the space elevator done and dusted and move on from there. So I changed these machines all here to steel beams. So the first four are all steel beam, then the fifth one is steel pipe, and the ratios are pretty much spot on from what I recall to have this work. I think I could actually have now a second steel pipe one going, but you really don't need it. It's actually making them as quickly as needed to supply our current uses for it, but there are many other uses for it which are going to be coming up, and we'll have a look at those when that comes time. So as you can see, steel encased beams are one of the many uses for these bits and bobs. And so I had this one going straight down and supplying this machine directly, and I think we will reconnect it and just have those ones over there supply the space elevator project for now. So let's get, well, how much do you use first? So 24, so a 60 belt will be fine, which is your basic belt. We've already got this one in place. Sweet. Now this originally was just temporary, so we could actually get some of the steel encased beams going. As you can see, I do have some on me. I'm going to take a group of 100 because it's actually getting used in quite a lot of different projects now. So, yes, lovely feeding in. So my plan is, eventually we will move this and make another row for steel production, identical to this one. So 4 of steel beam and 1 of steel pipe. And so that will literally double what we've got. Because we, as I said many times there last stream, we will go through it quite a lot amount. Sorry, no, that wasn't great English. I was thinking at the same time, which, as everybody knows, is quite difficult for me. Huh. There we go. Because did I? Yeah, I did. Alright. Just wondering whether I dropped it straight down on the other one or not. We'll do that again here. Actually considering... Actually, yeah, I'll have it go that way. And as you know, all we really need it to do once it actually starts feeding out is here we put down merge blocks, and from there we put it level 3 all the way through so that it's very quick. And we may actually just put in the line first and then put in the level 3s. So probably about here we'll put this one. Alright, take it back just a little. And of course we got it off center. That's going to do my head in. And we'll get rid of this one for now. So first I just use the middle mouse, the roller on the mouse, for the middle mouse, to just change where she's going to go. And that should be right there. And just hook it straight up. Even if that's not perfectly right, down here nobody's going to see it, so I don't really care. Alright, so chuck the merger in. Now we will do it from the other side, so we slide under the belt. I think we double pressed that one. We did. Yeah, the only problem is you could really got to watch that double pressing. As I said, it's not so bad in single player, but in multiplayer, it's a pain in the butt. Now, these will all be just Mark 1 belts to this bit, as you know that it only supplies at 60 per minute, but the Mark 3 being what takes the main supply line. That way you don't have to have multiple upgrades for Mark 3 belts. There is actually no need for it. And especially when you don't have a lot of certain resources, don't waste your time. Just upgrade the main thoroughfare belt and save yourself some resources so that you can actually get those important upgrades like the supplies coming into the base. So there we go. Reason why I've done it this way with a merger there straight up is we may end up adding more factories in as we get better belts. So as you can see, this one's completely chockers. We've now got 8 extra steel ingots on us that we're not actually going to be able to use for anything really. But that's all supplied up now. So I know like the level 1 belts look incredibly slow to feed onto the main belts, but when you start adding up multiple lines of 60 moving on to the main 270 belt, it actually like adds up considerably. So you just got to be patient with it. It looks slow, but it actually is rather quick. So we know we've now got supply for our sub-level here. Slide under. There we are. Here's our lovely supply line for it, all full of the new steel. And here's our old one. As you can see, it is just chomping through. We're using absolutely tons of it. This is why I said you have a main belt, as fast a belt as you can have coming in, supplying your stuff, and then you change them out as you need. So what I might do is I'll pack this up and get it moved. This is really easy to do. We won't have a lot on here yet. Just pack that one up. We don't need that there now. We can fix that up for now. And probably fix this one up. Yep. And we'll leave that there. Because we still will need this one to pump out to go to our new placement of the processing. But I'm thinking of making another level above for all kind of metal or things that we want to produce. So, you know, it's got somewhere for it to go. But as you can see, the little bit of supplies that I needed for making our space elevator stuff, I've just got the belt running on the outside of the facility. So here's the inside supply lines. They come out, come around, and run along the wall. Nice and simple. And they're out of the way. That one goes up. This one comes here, goes down. And let's go see how we're doing now at the space station. Well, the space elevator, I should say. Not bad. 200 of the 500 and 85 of the 100. So I might start stockpiling the automated wiring because I'm pretty sure that might be used in the next level. We won't need the smart plating, I don't think, and we might need the versatile framework. So I will, once the we actually launch this cargo to space, I'll start getting it to store up and we'll get ready for the next round. As soon as we've launched it, it'll tell us what the requirements are for the next levels. So we'll find that out together. This will only be the second time I've unlocked levels 5 and 6 because I checked some old playthroughs and that's what it's told me. Now we could upgrade these now if we wanted to, these storages to the large storage. They're not, you know, it's essentially just 2 of these storages, one here and one there, but they're interconnected, so it makes life a little bit easier, and you get 2 inlets and 2 outlets, which is actually really good. But I'm going to say, let's leave that gap there, take this row out, and let's start pumping in to make more steel, eh? Because that's what we want to do. Constructors. And what I'm going to do is, once I've placed these, instead of using the poles to wire them up, I'm actually going to build the roof in over them, and I'll run the power in from the roof. Because since I know that's what I'm going to change it to anyway, why do it twice? Well, why make it harder on ourselves when we're just going to change it anyway. So there we are. Go straight up to the metal. The great thing is, once we've got some more tickets, which we'll have to check there at some stage because we'd be making quite a lot, we could actually probably go upgrade our ticket producing area and make it even more because, as you know, once you start getting so many tickets, the price just skyrockets and gets stupid. So we need to check that. Lovely. And what we can do is just have a Mark 1 come down here because you only need Mark 1s to go in and out of machines, depending on obviously what the requirements are. Like if you're to overclock them, they would obviously need a lot more, but we don't overclock these machines. We only overclock resource production nodes. Alright, so steel beams, steel pipe at the full ratio because we look at it, it's 60 per minute. We just did 4 machines by 60, so that's 240. And we've got a 270 belt. When we run down the end, this one takes an extra 30. So 240 and 30 is 270. So exactly the right amount due to the current belt we have. So let's see. There's our input here. So we'll connect you up. And yes, you can slide under stuff while you're trying to place belts, which is awesome. Now we may actually have to move that. Let's check it out first though. So put our splitter in here. The whole point of this series is just to show you what it's like to go from start to finish, how hard it is, or how simple it is, depending on how well you play the game. Now you can see, oh, that one's not quite right. Close, but no cigar. Awesome. So they should be hooked up and pumping. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so that one there is our problem. And here. Because I'm pretty sure. Oh, no. They're now Mark 3s. Might have to go upstairs and change it to make sure that they're pumping in at the Mark 3 rate, which they're not. There we go. So I know we put in Mark 3s when we were in the belt area on the other side. So now we should have Mark 3 all the way through, which looks like we do. So lovely fast rate of production. And we can just drop off the little bit of extra steel we have into here. And what we need to do, and we're just going to skip straight to the large storages, because now we've got all the metal stuff that we need to do it, and if not extra, which is, as you know, absolutely awesome. And now we're going to have even more of it. There we are. So this outputs at 15 per minute for the steel beams. So your Mark 1 belt will work that perfectly fine. And that one's only 20 per minute, so no point putting a Mark 3 belts in when you don't need them. Mark 1 belt will work perfectly fine. It's all about balancing and using your resources smartly. Once you have enough saved up over time, you can, if you really want to, yeah, you can upgrade it to Mark 3s without any issues. I honestly don't see the point, but that's how I play it, and each of us can play it however we please. I just hope you get some ideas from the way I've been doing it. What I'm looking forward to is playing with trains. I haven't played with them yet. On Factorio I have had a lot of experience on Factorio with them. They're a pain in the ass on Factorio. If you get them right, they're fine, but until you actually get them working out perfectly, as I said, they're a pain. So let's just put in our safety rails, bloody OH&S. Actually, it's more like prevent Andrew from doing something stupid. Alright. Now, I wonder if they added it, that whether you can just upgrade your storages to level 2 straight up. No, you can put them straight on, but you can't just upgrade it directly. That would have been nice. So what we're going to have to do in order to have room to do this is we're going to just have to drop off a whole heap of stuff that we already have so that we can fit in the stuff out of the storage without it dropping on the ground and having to piss fart around too much. So get rid of you. So that's now all in the inventory. Take that out, take that out. Mark 2 storage. Make sure she's around the right way. Just replace what we took out. And we can put that all in there. Take out 2 piles of it. And Bob's your uncle, you're done. So this one didn't have a lot in there anyway, so this one will be easy. I'm not going to bore you by doing the whole lot on the stream. I will do a lot of this myself, but I just want to show you how easy it is to do when you've got an empty inventory. As you know, these beams is what allow us to upgrade all our belts to Mark 3s, and we've got some lovely Mark 3 work to do over at our coal power plant. So that's going to really help boost up our power production. Not to mention the new Mark 2 miners. Yep, this is the thing I haven't done yet, is go over and do that. So that's my big plan for the stream today. So I'm actually just going to keep this stuff on me. We need it anyway. So I'm not actually gathering any of that material, really, from the belts and everything, because obviously as I'm using it, I'm putting it back. And got to get rid of those and put back a foundation, which I'm going to pinch from over here for now, because it doesn't let you build on directly on those platform pieces. you actually have to build on the foundation, then essentially what I'm doing right now, as you can see, you can put it in, then take it away, and then you're good from there. Now we can put back in our little catwalk pieces. And we're good. So the other thing we need to put back in now is the lift that we had. There we go. So what we'll have to do is actually move this line and send it a different way in order to get it past this belt here. But we've finished our work, so now we can go pick up, and it's really easy to do. You just look at it and go like that. And we've got a little bit too much, so we're going to have to drop off some of our metal plate. Well, sorry, our metal beam. Take that. Now we'll go fill up a metal beam. First thing we'll do is we will check and see how much we've progressed for the space elevator. And then we'll head over and do some upgrades at our coal power plant. Now I have decided there that we are going to raise up the coal power with the belts and everything, so that we can fit more there, and we'll have to use pumps to get the water up and everything like that. But the big thing I want to work on, just to go over there and try out, is actually the hypertube, so we don't have to walk over there ever again. So there we are. Advanced wiring is finished. It's going to take time for the versatile framework to actually finish. So what we are going to do is, can we put in a should have moved those, but I could do, if I get rid of you, there we go. Get rid of that. Mark 3 into there, and then Mark 3 from the second top. That's why it's good having the ability to have the different areas for input and output. So it makes absolutely no difference. Both are inputs, both are outputs. Now I should have somewhere on me here the advanced circuitry, unless I didn't pick any up. I may have done the, there they are. Oh yeah, so let's drop something basic on the ground. There we go. Pick you up. Drop that in there. And pick that back up. So as you can see, there's our lovely little extra supply line of it. And it'll start storing up for us. What's that? Oh, okay, so we did have a good supply of that dropped on the ground. I thought we would have, but occasionally you miss it. There we are. That's what I was trying to avoid, having to piss fart around. You know, did I pick this up? Did I not pick this up? By having a full inventory earlier. Now, as we know, since this line here, which is the frameworks, hasn't actually gotten to the point where it's full, because here's some framework. Oh, that's some steel front beams. Let's do that. Mark 3. Straight in. From there, straight across. And pick that up, and we have room for it. So yeah, there we go. Actually, don't do that. Get rid of that. And so now we've got some storage of that as well. So yeah, it can come in the bottom row and go out top row, makes utterly no difference, which is awesome. So it's double your normal storage. It's in a convenient one unit. You can have, if you wanted to have two lines from your storage box going out, so one here and one to somewhere else, you can, which is just awesome, I think. But yeah, eventually we'll have to run those conveyors onto our big conveyor tree here and then repipe it underneath. We just haven't gotten there yet. And yeah, so what I'm going to do is see what I need in order to actually create our little hypertube over to the factory and drop off the extra stuff. So let's create another just a junk box here. And what do we need for doing hypertubes? So it's under transportation, of course. So we need steel. We've already got the copper sheeting. We've got the supports. We've got the entrance. We've got the encased steel beam. We've got the rotors. We have everything we need because I thought about this already. So the great thing is though, you can put down the, so we actually don't need to store anything. We've actually got everything we need on us already. You can actually put hypertubes on top of your conveyors. So I could actually have a hypertube go all the way along the top of the conveyor line there if you wanted to, and then like drop off and you can go visit something if you really want to. So yeah, it's a little thing. I've never actually done it. I know it works because I've tested it, but I haven't found a real use for it just yet, other than what I'm about to show you to, you know, keep it out of the way of the trucks. So, and the good thing is hypertubes, just like your conveyors, can go through anything. Nothing actually stops you once you're in the conveyor tube. So it's a great little addition to it. So we'll actually create our little inlet for it here. Entrance. Put a wall in. And so obviously we'll need to move this now. That's annoying. It's like, we just built that, but it's in the wrong spot. And I might put in a gateway here, just to make things easier. Nothing wrong with having extra entrances. We did make ourselves a little buggy to drive around the factory. They're really impractical. A lot of fun, but bloody impractical. So, yes, I know I don't have to be doing this right now, but I started it. Kind of like to get. Sorry. I kind of like to get some things finished doing that. So, might make a hypertube tab here. So let's make that a 1, a 2, 3. A wall support, a wall hole. Yeah, just do that. Power, we'll make that 7. And we'll also go to organization. Oh, hang on, I should be under power. Logistics, sorry. 8, put in that. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. There's our 4th. So this will be how we get into the pipe to go to our... it has to come out further. We get in this, and this will eventually take us all the way out to the site. So for now, just pops us out that way. So this will be the last time we have to run all the way out to the site. From now on, once we've finished doing this little gig, is we will literally just be able to jump in the hypertube and it will fly us out there rather quickly. Now, I could probably avoid this bit for now by doing that, because if I have to take a truck through this area, I'm going to ask what the hell I'm doing. So there we go. Should have enough stuff on us to actually get us all the way out there. So right now I'm just using this to measure, because these are longer than your conveyors. So you need to do a bit of measuring first. So I always drop it back just a little before placing it. Now I don't care if we go through conveyor tubes because it doesn't affect you while you're in the hypertube. Okay, so yeah, see, makes no difference there. I'll show you later on when I hop in it that it won't actually affect anything. So what we could do if we wanted for a little bit is actually run it on top of that belt. I reckon we'll give that a go. What do you reckon? Why not, eh? Could be kind of fun. Now I've just got to test. Oh, yep. So if we wanted to, you can put another conveyor belt on top of that. So that's awesome. All right, let's hook that up. It's actually going to look pretty good, I reckon. So I have no idea what happens when you go through a gas area while you're in the hypertube. So we're going to find that one out together. What we will do is we'll actually create a drop down for the mine area over here where we can get out of the hypertube and check things out or upgrade things if we need to or anything like that, and then we get back in the hypertube and go from there, but we'll do it from up there. So now we've actually got to put the hypertube in. Now we've got the supports in. Oh, I think this looks pretty awesome actually. You shouldn't actually, like, yeah, so we copped a little bit of damage there just being in the general area of the gas. You shouldn't be in there very long in the hypertube, to be honest, through the gas. If you're in there for a long time going through a hypertube, there is usually something wrong, because they're actually pretty much one of the fastest way to travel around the map. Oh, what have we got over here? What did we dump over here? Ah, some concrete. Oh, hang on a sec, guys. The great thing is, since you typically run your power line along with your hypertube, you can put your entrance and exit for the hypertube wherever, you know, because it needs power to be able to run. So as long as you're running your power line close to it, with it, or something like that, you'll be fine. So here we go. Power pole perfectly right here. So we just need an entrance. And of course, we're out of bloody tubes. Son of a bitch. Needs 10, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little. Well, not cheap, but be smart about it. Let's do that. And here we go. We'll climb up here. We're straight into the hypertube. So I'm not touching any controls. This is just running all by its lonesome. So we've just gone through the gas area. No damage to us at all. And it just spits us out. I love that. But that was kind of cool, I reckon, running up along the top of the belts. Definitely a convenient way of placing it. We just have to come up here and get some more steel pipe. And since we know we're making a ton of it now, shouldn't be any issues. And now that we've actually got the hypertube all ready to go back and forth, we should be okay. If we run out of stuff, we can just jump down and get into the hypertube and go back and forth as needed. So it's not like the old where we're having to spend ages running back and forth. Now it's actually going to be kind of quick to go back and forth. So there we go, do that. Grab the gun back out. And bloop. Now your velocity going into the hypertube is actually kept in the hypertube. So the faster you're moving when you enter the hypertube, the faster you'll actually be you trip through the hypertube. Now there is a trick to add kind of like hypertube entrances and exits that actually will speed up your time going through the hypertube. I don't know fully how to do it yet. I've seen some videos on it and whatnot, but I haven't been able to do it myself just yet, and I don't know whether it's still in the game, whether they've patched it out or anything like that. So we'll probably test that out to see whether we can speed up our long-range trips like this one. But we'll figure that one out together, we will. Now, what I never try and do is have it so that you just drop out and then you just drop straight into the next one, because when you actually want to get out and go do something, it's a pain in the butt. So what I do is I offset it just a little. So here we go, hang on, number 6. We're going to offset it just a little. We'll put our entrance in here. Oh, so what we're actually going to do is we're going to put a guaranteed power pole for this, like that. And we'll put our razor in. So here, 1, 2, 3, and then our razor. And it's backwards. Fine. So that should be working now. Perfect. And here we go. And we'll just start following the power line. So this easily reaches here. 1, 2, 3, topper. Alright, so it's only going to get to about here. So if we do it around about here, should be easy for us to get it to go up the hill. If there are any points of interest along the way, we can also create other stops for it. That way, you're not just stopping at, previously found points. You can get out and have a mosey around and see if you can find anything else new. But that's the great thing about these, is it doesn't have to be a constant thing to the destination. don't be completely 100% destination focused. Think about what you might want to check out there at some stage, or lovely little options like that. Like here, I'm going to run it on top of this. So I'm going to go do our usual raise. I know I didn't have to, but I'm going to anyway. So we'll chuck it in here. We'll go one more higher on this one, because the ground went down a little. And we'll probably have to go back and get more copper plating. But awesome thing is, all we need is power. And here we go. So we've already covered a huge area with these pipes without even realizing it. And if we move it just to the left, yep, there we go, whoosh. Straight in. And the good thing is, as you can see, we're moving even faster because we did that little skip between the tunnels. Alright. So let's go grab some more copper sheeting. Might top up the steel pipe to a full thing of it. No point going out there with only half a inventory slot worth. So drop that off, chop that up. So now we've got 600 steel pipe. Copper sheeting. Top that up full. So now we've got... Hang on. There we are. Don't know why that was being silly, but we've got 600 copper sheeting and 600 steel pipe. As I said, like, to do this, we had to get our steel going. We wouldn't have been able to do this without it. And now that we've got a huge amount of it getting produced, our life has already gotten easier. And let's check our health. So our health is full. So we're going through the gas area. Not a gas problem at all. So that's pretty awesome that we're kind of like sealed away from it. Oh, we've got something up there to go check out. What are you? Ah, pipe. Oh well, not too important right now. And yes, that's how you can turn around when you drop into the wrong pipe. You can turn around in the tubes, which you think you wouldn't be able to. You'd think you'd have to ride it all the way there, but you can, which is awesome. It's just nice because, when you got a long journey, because our coal plant isn't exactly around the corner, you can just take your hand off, have a drink, do something else, think about what you want to do for your next part of your factory while you travel there without having to interact with it. Alright. So that's annoying. But we'll use a good portion of it doing this bit, so we'll be right. And yes, we have our chainsaw on us, so if we want to, we can always cut down the foliage. the easiest way to create open space for your inventory is to actually just build the very thing that you're trying to build. So the whole point of having inventory space in the first place. Now we want to try and be quick through here with the lovely little enemy guy that's a pain in the butt. Good thing is the enemies can't attack you while they're in the pipes, so what we will do is we actually are going to make a drop off here. So, in case there's something we want to check out. And as I did earlier, we will do a little offset bit. So, probably there. Yeah, you can't use it while it hasn't had anything attached to it, so which is kind of funny. Great thing is these pipes can pretty much bend whichever way you want, which is absolutely cool. Just managed to happen to see him come out of the corner of my eye. Little annoying pricks. And if we do this right over here, we should be able to drop it straight down at a really awesome angle. Crap, we're out of steel rod. Oh, bloody metal rod. But this is why we have the hypertube. Might as well grab these while we're here. Back we go. And back and forth. As you can see, you get quite a speed up. So I'm holding left now, and whoosh, we're straight in. Now, if you want to stop yourself from doing what I just did there, when you're going down that section, you have to hold right, and it means that when you pop out, you'll actually go beside the exit, so you won't actually hit anything, and you won't actually go through the machine. So we come in here. These should be all plates. These should be rods. Yep, here we go. How many have we got on us now? A full just 200. Yeah, should be good enough for now. We can always take the network back if we need to. This is what I absolutely love about hypertubes. You need to go back and forth quickly to a work site. As long as you put the network in, you're good. It's also good too, like having these little breaks that I've done. If you need to like have a work site close to one of your breaks, like here, you can run off and have it go a different direction or anything. You're not constrained to having to run a whole new pipe all the way from your base to wherever it was originally going. Just gives you a bit of option. Also, the enemies don't attack you while you're in the pipe, which is always good. There we go. Alright, so... Oh, we can't do that one yet, can we? 1, 2, and the third. Alright, so what I'm hoping is it doesn't get down there, but it will get to here. That's awesome. So we're actually going to run it this way. Nice. We'll run it over to there next. Oh. What belts are these? Yeah, so these are all Mark IIs. We've got everything we need to do Mark IIIs. Alright, so let's test this out. Perfect. It gets all the way over here, so 1, 2, 3, razor. You couldn't do that with a conveyor, you couldn't. It just doesn't go long enough, but hypertubes, they're great. So, we've got a limestone node here. Ah, crap baskets, I wasn't meant to do that. Nice. And now we'll probably take it to somewhere roughly in the probably down near those platforms. And just like that. Hmm. And we'll put our entrance in. Now we have our hypertube all the way from home, all the way to our coal fire plant area. And what we can do now also if we want is we'll offset it a little. So it's here. Now, I haven't measured that out or know a secret number that it has to be so many. I'm literally guessing. So, see, it's got a nice angle on it. I literally just guessed. It's about one block from what I've observed. I don't know it exactly. That is an absolute guess. So what we can do is we'll add the pipe on top of here. This is just honestly my lazy transport, so if I want to, I can have it, say, come down to like here. Probably do it this way. Go 1, 2, 3, up. And then go from here there down. Cut that off for now. Do that to there. And that to there. So now if we want to, we can upgrade all our extractors, because these are all Mark 1s. So yes, they have all the upgrades in them for now, but we obviously need to upgrade them to Mark 2s to increase the extraction rate. So what we need to do is do equipment shop. How much inventory do we have? Bit of inventory on us, which is good. This is the factory cut that I've made, and I'll show you that by running it around back at the factory and why we've kind of left big open doors to do stuff and some runaround spots. That should be enough. Okay, I didn't bring any cubes with me. Oh. Do we run back and get the cubes or just make them here? How long would they take? We'll finish this one off and we'll run back and we'll get them some more. Instead of sitting here making it. That way we can see how the completed network works. There we go. We just have to put the upgrades back in. So now it can do 240. If we get some more power shards, we can make that 270. So use a full arm's worth of resources. So we'll cop a little power interruption, but not much. So while we've got the chance, let's fully upgrade the belt. Because we're going to go back and get resources anyway. Probably have enough to do the whole lot. That's the only issue about bloody hypertubes. Sometimes you'll be running along and suddenly, whoosh, you're sucked into the damn things. You really got to pay attention to when you're around them. Alright, so get rid of that. You, sir, put one there, then you connect up to there. There we go. What's that? Mark 3? Yep. I swear there's like a little piece just in there. That's only Mark 2. And it is. That's annoying. Let's get rid of you. Put the splitter back in. See, that doesn't look like that one did it. It's just that other annoying little piece over there. So at least that one can be done. There's the little things that you have to check on the belts to make sure. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Let's drop a stack of concrete so we can pick stuff up if need be. Oh, coal. Those little boxes are going to annoy me if I don't. Like, it's a good thing, like, we've got a large margin that we don't have to worry about if we're messing around with this, so... Alright, so that's working again. Alright, so that's Mark 3 all the way in. That's Mark 3 all the way in. That one too. How you can tell is it basically goes to the halfway through the splitter. So if it's not going halfway through the splitter, then it's not properly actually connected all the way through. So that's why I could tell there before whether it was going to work or not. So we did upgrade that. See, that one there says Mark 3 when it highlights. There it is. So that one's Mark 3 all the way through. We now know that this belt here can take 270 coal per minute. We're not producing that. We're producing 240, but we can take 270 through all the way, which guarantees that these will now work overtime. So, no issues of supply. We can do the same thing with the other belts. Until we decide, like, how, well, until I decide, I guess, how I'm actually going to, let's just scrap that for now. Keep that. Decide how I'm going to, do the extra power plants. We'll just upgrade them the way they are for now. Because once we get to the higher belts and the faster extractors and everything like that, we'll have to change this design. So because we'll need more water and just a better placement, really. It's kind of why I originally liked the big falls area where I was earlier for doing the power plant, because you had plenty of room to do it. Here, it's a limited amount of room, but I figured that it was easier than taking 3 lines of coal a lot longer distance just to be burned in the incinerators, power plants. So, even though that one there didn't need to be done just yet. But yes, all these feed-ins for the plants are all Mark 1s. You don't need them to be Mark 3s. Same reason as I said earlier. The machine can't take more than a 60 belt at a time. Even when it's in full operation, if it's with a flat knacker, it will still only need a 60 belt going in. Honestly, I don't need that. I have that much stored up right now. I don't actually have a use for it. The only bummer about doing upgrades like this is if you don't have enough free spots for the stuff that you're taking out because you're doing the upgrades, then yeah, you start getting stuff left around on the belts like you just saw. Oops. Alright. So all we need to do is get back here and finish off upgrading all the way back. So we know they're pretty much all upgraded all the way to the machines. Like, I'll double check the feed lines later on. Like, Mark II for now is working perfectly fine. I don't need a Mark III just yet. But when we do, I'll go back and I'll check it all. We should hopefully have enough space in the inventory for what we're using to make this stuff to compensate for the stuff we're collecting. So that's all Mark III, that's all Mark III, that's Mark III there. That's Mark III now. Yeah, so that's first sign that we didn't have enough room. Alright, we're going to go back and get the tubes. We should be okay. Let's head back and drop some stuff off. Going up on these is a little slow sometimes, but once you've actually gotten going, it's pretty good. This was so much easier than what I was doing, you know, trying to climb up using the zipline things. This just does it for you straight away. And we've got one more stop and then we're back home. But this is so much quicker than our usual running back and forth. So much easier too. And if we hold left, there we are. See, massive speed upgrade now because we've gone through a couple of the joins. Just gotta hope you're not motion sickness at all. So, there's the little cart. It's a cute little thing. A lot of fun to drive around, but bloody clumsy as hell. Let's drop them off. For now, we don't need them. So we've got 2 tickets stored up in here from when I checked them last time. That should be enough. We just need 2 things. Oh, well, actually 1 thing of the metal cube things. So there we are, another 3 tickets. So as you can see, it's like 100,000 per ticket now. You know, probably like 150, 160,000. This is why we've got an automated feed in for it constantly. So we've got 5 points there now. So if we really wanted to, we could come in here and probably buy something like the floodlights or something, because that'll come in handy, I think. Let's grab that. You can use real money to buy that stuff if you really wanted to. I never will. I'm happy and patient, I can wait. But you can if you really wanted to. Now they're rotors. Cubes. Nice. Top the rotors up. So these are getting used, well, were getting used, or are getting used. Yeah, still getting used. So, nope, we're ready. All right, let's launch it. So we load it in. It gets ready, and then we hit the send package. And it kind of charges. And whoosh. Still reckon you should have to provide the power for that, but it does it itself. Probably gets from like the anchor point in space that it'd have a big solar array or something to it. But that has now unlocked tiers 5 and tiers 6. So things like jetpack are now open, but we have to go get oil. So oil processing, so we have to do this one first. So it means that we have to get to making motors there. So we've got stators. We've already making the rotors, but we actually haven't got our proper stator plant in yet. Great thing is this can actually be used as a fuel source, the petroleum coke, for like in your coal burner. Actual trucks. You get the manufacturer, which is the big one of them. So we've got the little assembler, but the manufacturer, as you can see there, it's got 4 slots. It's a biggie. Adaptive control unit. That is, I believe, one of the things you need for the next space elevator bit, because it says there, ship with the space elevator to complete phases of project assembly. Same with your modular engine. We get a packager for water, so you can actually like pump in water from a water pump and then you package it. Certain things need it. This I really look forward to, a gas mask, so we can run through gas areas. Extended power infrastructure, so your fuel generator. So when you got your oil, you can actually turn it into what do you call it? Where is it? Well, here, fuel. But there's also like an upgraded version of that as well. Packaged fuel, liquid biofuel. Well, that'd be interesting. Liquid biofuel. I wonder if that's like the next stage for the solid biofuel. Don't know. I've never used it. Here's your pumps. So the pipelines with our pumping infrastructure and everything, these are the Mark II versions, which can take 600 cubic meters of water per minute. You also get a Mark II pump, obviously, to be able to pump through the larger pipelines. And here's your monorail, the train set, essentially. So you get your electric locomotive, you know, the freight cars, the rail lines, the train stops, the freight platforms, engine, empty platform, a fluid freight platform. So everything you need to do your little train set. But what do we need now? Alright, so there we are. We need the versatile frameworks. These motors, I don't know how to make them yet because we haven't unlocked them or anything like that. So I can actually stop the advanced. I would have assumed that we probably need this for one of these two. Hang on, guys. Sorry, I've realised I haven't got myself on private for my stream currently. 1 second. It's down on this one too. I probably should have preset this, but I forgot. There we go. Alright, so sorry about that. I'm back. So what we can do is we'll leave the versatile framework stuff pumping. Because why not? It's got 2500 it needs. So right now makes no difference for us. So I was happy that we did build up some extra there. We've got some status building up, which is good. We'll need those. But now, let's get back to our project. Sorry, guys. Just taking care of something really quick. Alright, so let's head back and do some more work out at our factory. Well, the coal-fired power plant. Alright, so if we hold left... Oh, need to adjust it just a little bit so that we can go straight into it if we want to. Yeah, sounds fun, mate. It is a great game. The thing now with the factory is figuring out how we want to redesign the coal fire. Since we've now got our hypertube network in, we can go back and forth, get resources as we need. We can also, now we've probably got the hypertube network in, we can actually set up and start piping like the pure iron node and copper node back if we wanted to. So we've got to go and head out to the coal mines and actually set them up to Mark IIs now that we've got the bits and pieces we needed, instead of sitting there trying to make them one at a time. Because, yeah, you guys would have got annoyed with that, I think. There we go. So every time you do it, unfortunately, you do have to put your increases back in. Here's our stuff from earlier. Now we've got the space to do it. B for some light. And look at that. Pumping out 240 per minute. Even though, like, yeah, we're still only using the 120 worth. But, you know, the infrastructure's in place now. So it's really going to make it easy now when we want to add more plants in. So that one's already Mark II. That one's Mark II. And as you can see, we've still got one extra portable miner with us. So as I said last time, to actually get it to upgrade just like that, how you just place it in over the top, you have to have two in your inventory. Even though it takes two to build it, and it should actually clear out, you get one back because it already had one when you first built it. Now level 3 has the exact same thing. You have to have 3 in your inventory to upgrade, but you get 2 back. So it kind of makes it really easy to go back and forth. Wow, Andrew, that's a lot of hours, man. Bloody 500 hours. That's definitely some good gameplay of it. So This good color. It's better than the yellow one we had over there. So yep, now it should be fully working. So now we've got our lovely increased supply of 270. Oh, once I go and get a couple more bugs and turn them into the speed ups. So I know there's one just over there we can go grab. But now, as you can see, this one was set up for the 120 because we look at our belts and that one has a flow rate of 120 resources per minute, and we were using every bit of it. The original one was 60, but now we've got essentially double and a bit for the next one, 270. So, and these all use 15 coal per minute, which gives you 75 power, and the water, we can figure that out later. So the fact that we've got 8 here, so it's 8 times 15, which was the 120. So to do it nice and easy, 270 divided by 15 is 18. So we're going from 8 to 18 of them. So that is a huge increase in the amount of power we're going to have. So you think about it, there's 8 there, here's 16. So, and you know, that was 2 lines we had going. With 1 line, we're going to be able to go to more than what 2 lines of our original output belts were doing. That is a lot more power, because if you do 18 times 75, that's 1350. Now we've got 3 lines going, so that's going to be 4050 power. That is a lovely increase compared to our current, what, 1800? Yeah, 1800. So we're going from 1800 basically up to 4000. Oh yeah, the water cooler for the computer. Actually, the one thing is with all the fans and everything I've got, Andrew, for my PC, which I've got 9 fans in it, it actually never gets above about 45 degrees. So it actually is always running really cool. Like the case I've got and the water cooler and everything, the PC itself, even when I'm running high graphics games, actually stays incredibly cool by the way I got it designed up when I built it. So I made sure, like originally it only come with, I think it was 5 fans, but I increased it to 9. But that does include the fan, the 9, does include the one that's actually for the liquid cooler. So like the fans for the liquid cooler itself, you know, has one on it, but I actually put an extra one on the actual radiator itself to cool it down even more. So like your usual fan that you have on the side of the case for your computer, I actually put an extra one, you know, one of those on the radiator, and you'd be surprised just how much extra cooling that gives your little radiator for your GPU or your CPU. So a lot of okay, we don't have enough space, so let's just scrap them. A lot of computers, like when people design them, don't think that, you know, the radiator itself, why not chuck an extra fan on it, on the actual radiator? You know, it doesn't create any extra vibration than what the other ones do, and provides significant amount of extra cooling. So that's a tip from a good friend of mine, Evil Jester, who actually got me doing that. He showed us how to do them and set it up. Well, actually his father did. And then he took over showing us how to do things. So I had a lot of help from him setting up my PC. But she certainly has no heating issues, thankfully. All right, so we need to convert that little bug into something useful. We've got something down the other side to do it. Oh yeah, well that's why, like yeah, my CPU has a liquid cooler in it. So my GPU doesn't. I'd love to put a liquid cooler on the GPU, but the so many PCs don't actually have. Oh crap! I have to drop something over here first. Don't actually come with, like most graphics cards don't come with liquid coolers, even though like you would think they would, considering that how hot a graphics card can really get when you're playing intense graphics games. Like this one, this is on the highest settings this game can have. Like, I can't turn the settings up any higher. It's literally on ultra. So there's no extra settings that the in-game actually gives me. So I think it looks really, really, really good. Like, I've seen some really bad games in comparison to this one. Like, this one's graphics is fantastic. Alright, so there we go. So now this belt, like, it'll produce 300 per minute, even though our belt can only take 270. But why not give it that little bit of extra for later on? So we've got the extra shard in there now. Now we just have to look at getting an extra 2 shards, one for this one over here. And then we've got our belt working at maximum with even a little bit of extra. Although the belt can't take the extra, but yeah, who knows? This is why when, like, I knew the power plants would increase this much with this new belt setup. That's why I was saying earlier that I want to basically, with our current power setup, we should be able to, yep, knock out one row of power without affecting our production at all. So, like, I could take out this one here, increase the height of the framework for, like, the foundations up to the height that we need for the water gens here. So we would have to go up, and we want to put a roof over top. So let's go to our little row 3. 1, 2, at least 3. Now let's try putting a roof over it. Oh. Alright, so there we go. This is where we'll move it up to, but what it obviously means is all our power and everything for these will have to be rerun. But the good thing is we can reposition all the extractors to a more convenient spot, and all the lines going up will now need a pump. So yeah, it's going to cost us more power, but considering one row is going from 8 to 18, the increase in power to have the extra water pumped up to the higher level is inconsequential. Look, honestly, it's really not a problem whatsoever. Yeah, don't worry, mate. I always stuff up my typing too. Um, so obviously, like, it's smarter for us to, obviously, like, you can't raise up the water extractors because they have to be in the water, so they have to be on the ground. But the great thing is, they're not as tall as the coal power plants, and the great thing, and conveyors don't actually need any sort of power to lift it up to a higher level. So it's really, we probably should have done this the first time, but we weren't thinking that far ahead at the time, and this is kind of the thing I've learnt with the actual big factory itself, as you guys have seen in the previous streams, that with forward thinking for the actual main factory, we won't have to do what we're doing here by going, doing a whole redesign, packing stuff up and moving a whole heap of stuff, where on our main factory, we only have to do expansions on lines. We don't have to redo lines. Like, this is what it looks like when you have to redo everything, pack it all up, have somewhere to store all the shit, and go from there. So if you can limit the amount of times you have to redo stuff, it makes your gameplay in this a lot easier, because people will put stuff in and be like, look, I like it, it works, I don't want to touch it, so, why redo everything? And honestly, the daunting task of having to redo a whole heap of stuff in this game can actually turn people off the game considerably easily. So this is why I've said, with our main factory, we have it expandable, but not needing to replace. We do the temporary placement here and there and then have to pack them up. But, one machine to do a temporary line is one machine. That's nothing. Some people's factories in this game, a production line will have hundreds of machines. We'll I don't think we'll get there in this Let's Play, but we will get to the point where we've unlocked all the tech, and eventually we will have a nuclear power plant, which I've never built before, so we will be learning that one together. But we will be bringing the tips of, um, you know, set it up, think forward thinking, expandable without having to replace. So this is why I'm just using all our concrete, which, as you can tell, I brought a lot over here with us in order to be able to just have this entire area elevated. And I'm actually, like, this will go right over to the cliff face. So it's like the cliff face is actually holding up the platforms. So as I've said before, I hate floating bases. Like, I don't mind if they are elevated and the enemies and that can't get to you, because you've put the work in to have it elevated. Like, especially like games like Project Zomboid, where, you know, I might build a elevated base where the zombies can't get to me, but I at least put poles underneath to make it look like that I've actually gone to the effort of saying, hey look, my base can be here elevated, but it is structurally supported. This is the only problem about doing this without any mods, is the placement of platforms like this can get really, really repetitive. So, and I'm not doing this like at a slow speed. Like, you can, if you want to make sure you don't stuff it up completely at any stage, like that one there, which, you know, that's only one to fix up out of all these one I've been placing. Depends how pedantic you want to be about stuff ups. I don't care if I stuff up. You know, it's how you learn. If you don't stuff up, you don't learn. Yeah, waste management. Yeah, well, when the game doesn't actually have physics in it where if you don't support the structure, it'll fall, why not role play it in your head that, you know, you got to try and provide it yourself. Like our factory, our main production factory, yes, a large section of it currently is floating, but I do intend, when I have the jetpack, to do the work I need to actually make it look like it is structurally supported to a point. You know, we can always just say that this stuff isn't just made out of concrete, that it looks like metal to me. I don't know about you, but I've never seen concrete that looks like this before. You know, you'd have to do some serious paintwork to get to look like this. I've had huge sections of concrete done at my house, and trust me, it doesn't look anything like these. But yeah, we can soon work with what we've got. Besides, I love the look of these. Oh, mate, you know, hundreds of hours, you know, whether it's 500's a big number, let alone like any extra than that. Like, when you start hitting 500 plus hours in a game, you're getting to know it fairly well. Like, some people say that you don't really know a game till you've played thousands of hours in it, but who has time in their life to play thousands of hours when you got to work and provide shit for your family? I thought I cocked that one up. Now, when I was younger, that was a different story. Once you hit my age, you know, you're getting close to 40, you don't often have the time to spend 2,000 hours on a game or something like that. There is a reason why my channel has an 84 on it, guys. It is actually the year I was born. So I am, according to some of the young fellas I play with, an old guy, but I do have quite a few friends here that are actually older than that. But yeah, we have the advantage of having played all the old awesome games that most people don't get to play nowadays. Like, my favourite being, all-time favourite old game, is Raid on Bungling Bay, which is on the old Commodore 64. And no, not the Nintendo, the old PC. So, I grew up playing that damn thing. I actually have a good scar on my chin, which I might one day show a video of me playing games, but won't be anytime soon. Yeah, I got a lovely scar on my chin from where I smacked myself on a desk when I was playing that damn thing. So it's a lovely little reminder that playing games can be painful. So we've ran out of concrete. So we're going to go back and get another load of concrete, put some more platforms in for more essential platforms for where we're going to be working and moving there. But the thing is, now that we're going to have essentially 18 power stations per line, we're actually going to double line it. So you'll have power stations on both sides of the conveyor. So it won't just be one side like the ones we've got there currently. So I'm actually thinking of, I might get rid of this little node here. I don't think we need this one for now. If we do need a node up here later on, we can soon add it, I think. But for now, yeah, I'm actually going to get rid of this node. The only problem being is if I do it now, we won't be able to get back into the pipe. Oh well. Here's another quick way to converse territory in this. Is you slide on your butt with C, then you press spacebar, and you do a lovely jump. It's nowhere near as fast as the hypertube, but it is faster than just running. You just got to be careful that when you do it, not to jump off a cliff or something like that, like this. If you don't control it, then you'll end up taking off quite a few health bars worth of damage, even with the new running legs that absorb a bit of damage. So there we go. It wasn't as quick as the hypertube, but we fixed it up. And unfortunately, you can't have like a T intersection for a hypertube, which would be cool. I don't know whether there's a mod for it, but this is a vanilla playthrough. Yes, I know you're. I think you're. Yeah, you are older than me, aren't you, mate? From what I recall. Let's grab some concrete. So here you go, Merkin. This is our lovely expandable but not having to replace type factory, where what we do is, because I know you wouldn't have seen my other streams, so I'll go down to the ground floor to kind of give you the basics. What we do is this here is one of the original, as you can tell because it's only a Mark 1 belt, iron ore lines. It comes in here, and as we upgrade the lines to Mark 2 or Mark 3, this will obviously increase the speed, then you increase the miner with upgrades and everything. And all you need to do, because the belt will bring it in quicker and you have more power at the extractor, you just add more smelters. And then you use the production lines as you wish. So, and like this one here, this one had a Mark 2 difference. So there's your Mark 1, there's your Mark 2. We haven't done a Mark 3 yet for the iron. We just added extra. But as we bring more and more in, as people would know from the last stream, we actually have 3 more rows of iron come in. So yeah, we have the ability to make more and more and more of it as we need. Right now we don't really need a lot more iron, we needed the steel. This one's actually supplying the factory. Over here is the one where we can grab storage from. So let's top her right up. And do that. Yes, there are quick ways to get down the factory walls. Oh, thank you, mate. I do read all my comments. Sorry, it is on a second screen that I duck over to have a look at. So I will get to all your comments when you do write them, guys. So if I don't read it straight away, trust me, I will read it and I will comment. it just takes me a little bit of time at times because trying to give you good gaming content and keep things moving and also comment back for you can be a little distracting, and I am still new at this. Yeah, it's alright, mate. What we'll do is, once I finish doing our stream, we'll work on one together for us. I'd love to have like an open beta, like an open one where people on the channel can join in and give us a hand and do things, but you know, it'd have to be very controlled because last thing you need is people coming in and just wrecking your joint just because they're jerks. But I'm looking forward to doing my the power upgrade now. So we've got plenty of concrete for now. Let's finish off this section over here. Now, as you'll notice, what I was meaning before is right now only this left side of the main belt is actually taking in coal from the main feed. So only this side is using it. It's using it incredibly slowly right now because we aren't using all our power potential, not even close. But what we can do is with the new belt, we can put in not only on this side, but on this side of the belt. That's why we have this big platform put down here. So it's essentially, once I finish a couple more lines here, because it has to at least be this, but I want to move it over further so we can fit in more, because it's, you know, a lot more plants and they do take up a lot of room. If we really wanted to, we could double stack the power plants. I've never done that because I've never had the need to do it. But by that time, I'm hoping to move on to a different power source. So honestly, this will probably be the last upgrade we have to do with coal power. Because just like what we did with biomass, eventually you do move on to turbo fuel, which is actually awesome because it generates so much more power. But obviously we're not there yet, and we've got a lot to unlock before we get there. But so one of the first things we do need to go find is an oil, and the good thing is where we've built our main base, an oil supply is only a hypertube away. So obviously we have to lay it down, but I do love that saying, it's only a hypertube away. Alright. Now the little bacon looking, well, kind of the mushroom looking plant over here, strangely enough they call it bacon in game. I don't know why, it's just what they do. It is an essential part of doing some of the MAM projects. So whenever you see it, for now, always try and grab it. It also is one of the parts in the recipe for doing the health little breather units. I haven't shown them, like I've kind of shown them where you can build them, but we haven't built any on stream yet. So eventually we will get there. We also have to unlock a few more things for it. But now that we've got oil unlocked, it gives us a lot more options on things like the breathers and all kinds of little nifty gadgets. Levels 5 and 6 for your unlocks really gives you a lot of cool stuff to play with. So we've got a lot of stuff to look forward to right now. Over this section, so we know that that's the length of 8 there, and we only need 9 because it's only going to be 18. But if we think about this, the next level for belts is actually what we're prepping for. So, as I said earlier, when you build as if you're going to have the requirement of like the larger belt. So like yeah, for now we put this stuff in because we needed this. Like we had to get this in so that we could start increasing, like do our steel production, because we would have easily gone over a single row's worth of power. Like we're at 1,000 megawatts right now, and we've hardly got any large size of production going. So at peaks at times here we're hitting 1,000 megawatts. So really, it doesn't seem like a lot, especially later on in the game when you get huge factories going. The problem is, right now we'll lose 600 megawatts when we do the conversion over from this production line to our new project, but we can afford that right now. So just have to make sure whatever you're killing down here to move it and upgrade it and do whatever, you have to be able to absorb the reduction in the power. If you can't, you're doing it at the wrong time. It means that right now what you'd want to do is actually design it up so that all you would have to do is switch the belt from going in here to going upstairs, so that it's pretty much an uninterrupted supply of power. It just needs that little bit of time for the coal to start reaching the plants to switch over, because these will already have a large coal supply in them. So it just needs to switch over from one to the other. So that's how you do it, to try and get an uninterrupted power supply going. But if you're using these at max, as I've stated previously, the problem is, like right now, yes, it's got 100% or 100 coal left over in the machine. When you're using this at 100%, if you've got 100 coal in there already, it might drop down to around about 90, 99 to in that area, and it'll fluctuate up and down, as you can see like with the burning here, because it'll be burning at full speed, which will be the full 15 per minute. Right now it's not using the full 15 per minute, so the problem is you won't get a stockpile like this. But the great thing is, since we do have a stockpile like this, and if you need to switch over to the type of thing, which I can demonstrate if we need to, we have the stockpile as a backup. So right now, if we disconnected the coal line from here, then this would work fine. As long as we had the water piped into new ones up on this level here, and then we just switch the coal line from there to a coal line up here, this one up top will take over. Even though this one's still going, this one will take over, and then you can just delete this one and you're fine. That's how you can kind of keep it from being an uninterrupted power. I hope that kind of gives you a description on how you can get around certain things. The problem is right now is, to do that we'd have to find lovely places for your water, and the whole point of getting rid of this is so that we can redo the water. But the good thing is, we're not using the maximum amount of power that we are generating right now, so we have some wiggle room to just delete what's here and then rebuild. So what we're going to do is create a storage. We're going to just dump everything in here for now. So just store all of what we can, and we're just going to delete these ones like that. So we've still got plenty of room. So we've still got to get rid of that line there. We've got to move the water. We're going to pack up the concrete. But you'll notice our power, our total production is down to 1200, and we've still got around about 100 megawatts of wiggle room of power without any issue, 1 to 200. So we can afford to do it right now. So if you can afford to do it, as long as you know how much it's going to decrease by it, go for it. Because the last thing you want to do is go crap and cut off all the supply and go, don't have enough power to keep everything running. The last thing you want to do is stall your entire bloody power plant, because that just creates freaking nightmares. Trust me, I've seen it happen to big peoples with big bases, and they just have a nightmare trying to get it going again. They don't show you that on a live stream either of how they do it to fix it up. So if we had that happen, I'd at least show you. But you'll come back to it you know, on especially some of the guys with huge stations, you'll come back on and they go, "Oh, we got this fixed." You know, yeah, we lost power, but they don't show you how they did it. And honestly, I think sometimes not seeing the tricks of the trade is kind of, yeah, it's a letdown because then you have to try to figure out all this shit by yourself. Now, as I've said, 99% of the stuff that I'm doing, I've figured out myself. I haven't had anybody show me. So I've watched a couple of YouTubes on a couple of things that I had no idea about. Um, and all the stuff that I didn't know about, I have covered in this. So pretty much, if there's with the oil processing and a few things there, we're going to be learning some lessons together. But that's what is the fun bit about gaming, is learning to do it yourself. If you just watch YouTube, so just, oh, this is just how you do it, this is just how you do it for everything, it's like, why bother playing the game? Now, if you are commenting, guys, the chat died there, and I think it's reconnected, but I may have missed a few messages, so I do apologise. YouTube has this lovely thing of the chat disconnecting for unknown reasons. I don't know why, but it just does. Alright. See, it's funny, you've got this tool to delete multiple things, but you don't have a tool, as far as I know of, to be able to place multiple platforms all at once. That would be really convenient. Really nice, too. Alright, so here we go. I've now freed up all this extra room. So now we can put water extractors all through here now, because we're going to need extra water. Now, here comes the fun bit of figuring out the maths for the water that we need for the increase in power plants. So, as you know, with the ratio over here, we could do 3 extractors for 8 power plants. So, in effect, since we now are going to have 18 power plants, the math doesn't work exactly. So, we're essentially probably going to need at least, I'd say, 8 extractors to provide enough water for the 18 power plants. And that's just a guess. I haven't done any of the maths, but that's just having a crack off the top of my head. So we will find out very shortly. I need that ramp foundation there. So what did I just get rid of? I wish I could figure. It's meant to be number 9. Logistics, we actually wanted you. So you're number 4. Hate when that happens. Alright, here we go. We've also got this lovely area up here now we can now fill in because the power plants are gone. This is why I said, you know, earlier, let's at least get some concrete production going. You know, it doesn't have to be stupidly big, but as long as you've got some production going that you can walk away from, and it's going to store up a whole heap of stuff. When it comes time that you need to go get a whole heap of materials, you've just got a heap waiting for you. Because projects take ages in this game. So, like, they'll literally take hours to do one thing. Like, you're just going to see today, the biggest thing we're going to do is probably just the upgrade to the power plant. Like, we expanded and sent over our steel production, but, you know, that was a small thing. Like, this project is far bigger. So you can do a couple of little projects in a stream, but in 4 hours in this game can be taken up just to expand and do a power plant. So time can go really quickly. So this is where the power plants are going to go along this row. So what we're actually going to do is work on back here, working forwards. So we don't have everything we need to put all these in, but we can at least get it started. Now I don't care if this clips into the terrain a little, it does not bother me in the least. That's 3. Here's 4. Five. Here's number 6. That's 7. 8. There's number 9. So there's half of what we need. So that's 1/2 done. And what we will end up doing is probably this row here. Large sections of it will be gone in order to bring the pipes up. Unless there is a way for pipes to go through foundations, which I don't think there is. But what we could do probably is, if I get rid of this, I could probably use like this wire frame type one to bring the pipes up through, and then we could seal off little sections of it if need be. So let's put this back in so we don't accidentally fall through there just for shits and giggles. So there's 8. Sorry, there's 9. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So 9. And we need another 9. So now we know what we need. Let's come over here to the factory, to our storage. Let's see what we've got available. Yep. Yep. Look at that. It's like I planned it. Little trick. I did. Now, last time we only had a single row, like everything fit in this one little row here. It's probably not going to work that way this time, because we'll need 2 rows of pipes to do one side for here and one for this one over here. So we'll end up using both these rows. This is why I pushed everything as far this side as I could. Alright, so give ourselves a bit of extra room. And because of the lovely little lines that appear when things are lined up, we know that that's lined up exactly opposite of these ones. Now, one trick with this is offsetting these a little, which I'm going to have to do, so that the coal lines actually feed into its opposite number. So that's what I was trying to work out. So that should be the 2 space between. Roughly. What I can do. Alright, cool. That's actually perfectly aligned. Now, the reason being with this is pipes are easy to do opposite number connections. Not a problem. But the conveyors, when you put a conveyor one in, it can be a real pain in the butt to try and get it to mirror. But when you've got it mirrored like this, you can just have a splitter in the middle. So this will right here will be where the conveyor line comes down. So we'll put in our single row. here. So this is where our conveyor line will come down. And right here will be where we have our first splitter. So it'll split off and go directly here and directly here. So this one's way too far away, but because it needs to be aligned over here. But we now know that it needs to be the center of the inlet needs to be along this little concrete line here. So let's get rid of this. And one bit more closer to us, and that there is perfect. Exact opposite number. And we know that our little thing here is we have our one space. So every one of these should now mirror their opposite number with the intake for the coal. Yes, it might look a little strange having it a little offset and it's not exactly lined up or something like that. It might annoy people or whatnot because it's not the exact thing, but trust me, this works. Thanks, champ. I'll talk to you next time and we'll see about getting online and playing some together. Another little handy thing for the tool when you want to delete multiple things is it can actually let you help count things instantly. So right here. Put in our line there. That should pretty much, yep, get us all the way down. So right there. Perfect. So here, I'll give you a little demonstration of why and what exactly I mean. So, splitter, as you can see, the lines mirror each other. You go up like this, put it in, then you can run your belt. Perfectly mirroring each other. So just off one connector of splitter, instead of having to have multiple splitters. Believe me, I've made some lines that look absolutely ugly, and it's like, why the heck did I do that? This is the best solution for the conveyor work that I have been able to find. If there is a better one, let me know. I'd love to know. But so far, this is the best one I've been able to nut out myself. Now you can use the lifters and all kinds of little nifty tricks like that if you want to get work with this one, but I don't see the need. It just needs to be simple. It just needs to run the coal from the main bus to your power plant, and that's it. So from now, all it is we will work it out. Essentially we'll have but they'll all be connected, but if you kind of work out the math that if you have one water pump for every 2.5 generators, the math works for your water supply. So we've got 9, so the math doesn't work out exactly, but we will pump out 4 water pumps to provide water for each row. And yeah, people go, oh, but the pipeline can't handle that and whatnot. If you've got 4 connections coming up, like say, have the water connection from this one come down and go straight down, and then have the same thing here, and here, and here, it doesn't need the water from this one doesn't need to try to get all the way down there. It just has to supply here. There's no reason why you can't have the overflow from them all connected together. You know, the pipe isn't going to burst. So you don't have to worry about flow rates or pressure rates or anything like that. Well, you do have to worry about the pressure rate, but the pipe isn't going to burst. So that's something you do not have to worry about. It can't overpressurize. In reality, yeah, you'd have to worry about overpressurization and all kinds of little nifty things like that. But in this, no. It doesn't have overpressurization issues. Underpressurization issues, yes. You can actually be not supplying enough water through the pipes, or not have enough pumps to supply enough water, or have enough head lift to get the actual water up to the actual facilities itself. So yeah, that you have to be aware of. But that's, you know, easier to fix than going, oh crap, if I have too much in here, it's going to go bang. So yeah. The only reason I even know anything about plumbing is to an old friend of mine who taught me some things about plumbing. Honestly, I still don't know squat, but compared to most, but I know enough to get me by for this game at least. Alright, so again, the whole point with this is I'm allowing it for the next belt upgrade that with it in place like this, there'll be enough room to add extra power plants to the row, because when you get the next upgrade, it's considerable. Like, a lot. So, it's not minor, that's for sure. Now, I know it needs to be roughly around there, but I want to add enough power poles up. Oh, enough conveyor lifts to do that. There we go. So now we've got the coal reconnected. So that'll start filling up the coal plants again. Actually, what I might do is I'll get rid of that for now, actually. I'll take all the extra coal that we've got in our inventory and go chuck it in the plants immediately, especially down the far end, so that we don't have to try and find a use for it, and it can at least do its job. Like, we could always, you know, set in a the awesome sync and just, you know, get tickets out of it, but why not put it to its actual use? So there's a few for the end ones there, because like the front ones will start filling up before the back ones will. So sweet. So that cleared up a ton of space in our inventory. Nearly need to put a hypertube just go back and forth on this now, which we really could if we wanted to, but yeah. Problem is, where we'd want to get on and off is different every time. So now we need to also put the power lines in, and then we also need to put all the water connections in. So let's just do the power lines first. Yes, I haven't actually connected them to the actual individual power stations, but that can come later. Good thing is, if you take away the block beneath them, they don't fall or anything like that. They'll sit there. Now, if you really wanted to, you don't need to do this. You could literally just have one row down the middle. I wonder if you can actually still put power poles on top of... No, you used to be able to put power poles on top of the splitters, but you can't seem to do that anymore. That would have been awesome. So now it's just a matter of getting these all up. We'll connect this one across here. Then we can, you'll have your main power line for now run all the way down, because we've got to get our power connected back up to the grid. But the good thing is, while we're doing this, the generators are filling up full of coal. Alright, so they're connected back up to the grid now. Even though they still don't have their water, but at least they're not all connected. So we've still got a few to connect up. You can tell which ones are connected because they actually will highlight blue when you point the little power line connector at it, which makes your life really easy. It's like, because each machine only has one power line connection. So if you haven't got it connected, it tells you, which I think is great. It would be cool if you could daisy chain from one power plant to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, and not have to put the power poles in. But unfortunately, that's not in the game. And for now, this is at least letting me know which ones are connected and which ones aren't. So now that we've got all this in, we know we're going to need a foundation still here in the middle. So there's a little trick to doing this. If I've got to remember how to do it now. If I do that. The great thing is none of this is going to fall or anything like that. As I said, there is no structural integrity in this game. If I do that, I should be able to... There we are. Oops. Oh, that's how you send a ping to your friends. So we can get rid of that. Then just chuck that one in. So what you can do is just get rid of all these. As I said, no structural integrity, so the power poles don't suddenly just fall to the deaths. But we only need a small gap for the pipes to come up, so it doesn't need a large gap. There we are. So, nice and simple. You've still got a connection all the way down here you can run back and forth with. Now we need to actually run a pipe down. So, yes, pipes can run straight down, which is perfect. So what you can do if you really wanted to, I think it's not going to let you. Okay, so I tell a lie, you can't do that. What I was thinking was, you might be able to put, like you do with hypertubes, which is you can, the wall mount, you can do that, but I don't think you have one for pipes. So, and to think of it right now, to get up and down instead of us having a piss fart around, I might put a temporary hypertube in, eh? Just so we can go back and forth. because we're going to need to put a foundation in to walk on and whatnot in the water, because you can't build while you're in the water. Yeah, you won't die or anything in the water or anything like that. You don't drown or anything. It's just a pain in the butt. So, we'll worry about doing the hypertube in a minute. Okay, so we still need to go further down. Yeah, that could work. Alright, so there's the water level there. Perfect. Okay. So you don't need that anymore. For now, anyway. Get rid of that one. They're the little mistakes I made earlier. See? So easy just to fix that little mistakes, you know. As long as you don't freak yourself out about it, go, oh no, I made a mistake. Guess what? Who gives a shit? So many of my friends crack it whenever they make a mistake. It's like, guys, seriously, get over it. We all make mistakes. If you don't make a mistake, you've learned nothing. Or you will learn nothing. Alright. So, the water... So, what happens when you get in? You can't build anything, or your little interface goes away. Actually, this would be wrong. See? Mistake. But I don't care. We build this one here. We can. And there's the first water one there. So one, this is why I built it this way, so you can actually look up and see what you need. So there's the one where I'd want it. So when we scroll through to water extractor, where are you? Okay, I'm going to have to actually just do it here. Production, water extractor. You hold control, and it kind of locks it in place. Is it control or alt? No, shift. No. No, that's not really doing it. I think you have to place one first. But there we go. So there's that pump. And we can bring power really easily down from up here. Also the reason why we built 2 rows of poles. So there's water there. And what we can do is just grab our pipe. Whoosh, straight up. Now this does not have enough head lift to get that water all the way up to that machine. So it won't actually provide enough water to it. So we'll actually have to put in a water pump. Now I did cover this previously, but that's it there. One water pump, and then we connect it to a power pole. So that should actually be now, in a second, providing enough water. There we go. Power has turned on. So the next thing we need to do is when we get back up there is actually start setting up the line for this one here and the one beside it. And then we just copy it all the way down. So for as I said, for every 2, we put a water extractor in, and we've already got the perfect setup going on down here, nice and easy to do. Now, just like when we do our hidden away kind of bloody okay, so I'm actually going to have to put in like a half block there to do that. Well, that works. Yeah, so if I do that. Alright, let's see if these water extractors will actually... See? Learning as we go. Let's see if these water extractors will actually snap. So one, there's that one. Perfect. And power pole. The other problem is power poles don't like going. Oh, they will. They don't really like it as like over here where it kind of snaps to it all perfectly. But we need to put our water pump in to do the lift. Okay, so we're actually too far forward. Alright, so we do need an extra block. Okay. So yeah, double foundation actually will work better. I was pretty sure that we'd have to, but thought I'd give it a go. That's what I love about that tool. It's so easy to get rid of mass amounts of areas when you stuff up. But nothing wrong with stuffing up. Here we go. So perfect. Alright, so in line with this one, holding control. So it kind of wants to snap in place to it, kind of, but not at the same time. Doesn't have to be exactly straight, but the big thing about it is, should mean that we can put, yeah, there we go, we can put the pump much higher up, so guaranteed it'll provide enough lift now to actually get up to the power plants. So here's our hypertube. Oh. Let's take a power pole from you. And let's go upstairs. Nice and easy. So we know that this one pump can at least feed water to this one and partly to that one. So what we can do is go back to our little water menu. Should be this. Yep. Chuck that in there. Now there is a way to change the build mode, so press R. There we go. Perfect. So what we can do again is we just chuck in an intersection here. Make sure you rotate it. It's going to be really dicky on me. What I might do is I'll get rid of that one and chuck it into there. But now we'll chuck in a connection to here. Just like that. Do that. And we can get rid of that one. And that one's ready to be connected to for the overflow, because one doesn't provide enough for 3, it only provides enough for 2.5. So we need another one. So we'll put another one effectively in here. So another water pump here, which should sit perfectly right next to that one. And it'll feed up, and the overage will go to this one, and this one, which should work out perfectly. Because these need at full power, 45 cubic meters of water per minute. Alright, so one thing we know we need is a wall, so we don't fly off into the water. But these only produce 120. So if we bring up our little maths thingy, 120 divided by 45 is 2.666. So it's only enough for 2.5. So it's not enough for 3. But between 5 power plants, 2 works perfect. So when we come along, we know this is the middle one, this is the one we want to do, and this will be its extra. So production, and if we hold control, rotate it, it'll kind of sit perfectly next to that one. And again, as I said, I don't care if it's on a little bit of an angle. It makes no difference to me whatsoever. But the good thing is we're squeezing in the pumps. I'll see, there you go. With that selection, it's put in like a perfect straight line. So, can't argue with that. There we go. Power in. And I should probably put pump. Oh, okay, so it's part of that one there. Okay, so cool. There we go. So let's say about there. And we know we need it around about there. Connect that one there. There we go. So these 5 now should be getting the perfect amount of water. So it's 120, 120, which is a total of 240. So 240 divided by 45 is not right. 5.33. So it's still got some extra. Okay. So consumption. So the building can store 50. Oh, we'll have to have a look. How's this pipe going? Might have to move that pump up higher maybe. Or put in 2 pumps. Don't know. But that pump should be enough to actually... Let's try the pump there. Alright, so this is pumping enough water up to that section there. Let's get rid of that connection line. Get rid of you. Make that one to there. So that gives that one another free one. What if we put another pump in? Let's try the same thing over here. So put that one in there. This one in here. Yes, it costs more power. Because this thing uses... Actually, how much power do you use? 4 megawatts. So, you know, that's 8 megawatts out of 75, really, who cares? That should easily be enough water to have these churning along. How's this doing? We might have a bit of a play. The water level's not great. It's there. You shouldn't have to have these secondary pumps though. Should be able to if we have this one pump here. It should be providing enough water. That one. Because as I said, 120. So 45 plus 45 is 90. So that's for 3, 4. Oh. Okay. We need a third one. Just for 5. That's why the ratio of 3 for 8 works. That makes sense. Well, we're planning on having 4 in for the 9 anyway, so if we pipe all of them in, our water pump problem should be gone. But the water pump here is actually moving enough water up there because it can go. How far does it say? 20 meters upwards. So each section of bloody wall is 4 meters. So 4, 8, 12. And then you got the extra little bit there. So that should easily be enough. And as long as you have it above, say, the first wall piece. So if we go first wall piece here. Yeah. So the first 4 meters are being supplied by this here itself. Then you got 4, 8, say 12, and 20's up top. So yeah. So all we need to do is get the extra pumps in, and we should be golden. So needs to go there, needs to go there. Probably put it there. Do that. There we go. Alright, so we'll go upstairs and we'll... Actually, no, we need to put the pumps in. So... at least about there. There we go. And power pole. There we are. Now we'll go upstairs, fix up the water pipe up top, and we should be finished with this side. Because that'll be easily enough, because if 3 works perfectly for 8, because if you go 8 divided by 45, it what's 120 plus 120 plus 120 divided by 45, you actually produce more than what you need. So, and since we've got 4 times 120, which is 480, so 480 divided by 45 is 10. So we're easily producing enough water for all these machines. So, and we've still got plenty of room, which is awesome. So let's get the next little section set up. That. DU. Ah, it's been dicky. It's really freaking annoying. Fine. Let's just put that in here. Okay, yeah. I lowered it a little, didn't I? Yeah, say that. What? Yeah, so it's going down a little, who cares? Perfect. Water, 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 water. One more here with this overage, we will be perfect. It's not going to work, is it? Alright. There we go, it's actually filling up. So if we go back to the first one now, as you know, this one here wasn't getting enough water. Not showing any power. Oh. Flow rate over here sucks. Okay. Solution, 2 pumps. Easy solution. 1 right there. One right there. One right here. There we go. One right there. Alright, next test. As I said, bit of trial and error. And we're getting little bits. There we are. Just filling up. That's what we wanted. Just didn't have enough lift. So, for each one of these we've got 8 from the pumps, from power draw from there, and then we've actually got power from each one of these. So, how much power are you using? 20 meg. So 28. So from 75 minus 28 for each one of these. So we've got 9 times 75. So 702 megawatts. So we know we use 702. So 28 times 4 is 112. 702 minus 112. We're generating 600 megawatts. Great. Oh, but see, that's the one thing, is that's just from this side. So there's your 600 meg essentially from one side. Here's your other 600 meg because of the upgrade. So there's your 1200 just from those two. So, perfect. So as we know, we need to put pump down here. Pump up there. And we'll figure out the pipe like that. And we just put a second one in, didn't we? Yep. Oh, prep baskets. What aren't you? Ah, because it's not exactly aligned. Oh, still being dicky. Fine. Well, we're going to put these extra pipelines in anyway, so let's just go down here and get that set up. So 2 and 2. Somewhat trying to align it. Good enough. And here. And we can play with the pipe connections upstairs. So let's get the pumps in, get these in, and that one's not going to work there. Good enough. One, two. One, two. Oh, we're out of cable. Do we have any copper? We do. Let's make some cable for us, eh? So I haven't got all the way back. Like about 50, we should be alright then. See, I hadn't planned on the fact that we might need 2 pumps for each row. I kind of just guesstimated it at being only 1. So, yeah, I didn't bring enough cables. Well, there's an awful lot of prep in this to try and get it somewhat right before you know, go online. You try and gather as much stuff as you can to try and save a bit of time while you're doing your stream, but unfortunately, that doesn't always work. You do your best you can. There's one. That one was up too high. Okay. Now we should be able to just run a pipe from cross point to cross point to cross point, and then you just put the extra ones in that you need to go up to the higher levels, or up to each machine. So, main buff, main buff, or main bus. One, 2, 3, 4. Invalid shape, of course you are. I wonder if it was just where I was trying to put it. I wonder if you do it like that. There we go. There's always a way. There we go. And we don't have enough for the last 2. We did so well. Yeah, I think we need raw copper. Yeah, need raw copper. Alright. Back to base. That's not bad. Most of that's going. Not all of it, but most. Still got some water issues there, but once they fully kick on and everything's working, because is that one even powered up? No. That would explain it. That one's not powered up either. There we go. Now with all those going, we should see a big difference. Level 3 belt going in as quick as you can. But let's... And this should give us a bit of velocity. As I said, your velocity going into the hypertube is carried on with the hypertube. So the faster going in, the faster you'll travel. Now, I've seen some YouTubers have hypertubes that literally, it's like a hypertube cannon. They can get in it and it'll literally shoot them halfway across the map or all the way across the map. Or you can make it so powerful you can shoot, all the way over the map. But I think you've got to have the little flights thing there so that when you're going to hit the ground, you've got something to slow you down. But this has certainly saved a lot of travel time. So that little skip there, you can see how fast, much speed we've gained by that little skip from one exit to another. And that's how they kind of do it to get the little hypertube cannon going. But since we haven't got what we need to kind of slow us down, we're not going to risk that. Alright, 1, 2. We didn't even need that many to finish off it. We literally had like 3 pipes to go. Unfortunately, haven't got it aligned well enough that we can do the skip from this one to the next one going back. But I'll fix it up off stream at some stage, and we'll be able to just zip from one to the next to the next. But as I said, your velocity when if you use the little running legs, you can get a good bit of velocity up to actually jump into the pipe to get your shorten your time in the hypertube. But yeah, you'd think the little halfway points like this bit here would actually speed you up, but it doesn't. I kind of like it how it does go through the foliage. It looks kind of cool. It's like it's supporting the tube. That was so much easier to get here than any of our other methods. Alright. And you can do a skip along this. Alright. Yep, 2 bits of pipe we had left. Not bad. Fine. Don't know what it is with its thing right now, but you're in. Aha. Why that? It's probably just because it was a little bit lower. Stupid thing. But even that there is a huge increase in our power production. Absolutely huge. So yeah, we've done really well. So that's the power one for today. I'll do maybe the other ones off stream. I'm gonna seal this up at least. There we go. I could probably do that somewhere along here. I probably could have used the one with probably could have use this one. Ah, it's not letting us do it. Ah, might as well just stick with the one that we know that works. There we go. Now we're out of iron rods again. But it does look kind of better. So, next thing will be to take this one down, bring it up to this level. Do the same thing there. So these power plants will literally touch the back of these ones, and then obviously we'll increase the amount that we've got again by, we'll do the center, and then exact same thing with the last line. So that'll be basically max space with max potential. So the base will look really good. So, as you can see, we've still got plenty of room for increasing the power potential for the area. So yeah, there's plenty of room to increase how many extractors we've got. It's really made the best use of the space, I think. So let's head on back. So we'll need another 1, 2, 9 is 11, 20. So we need another 20 power plants in order to actually finish off the entire new upgrade. But that's going to be it for today, guys. I've certainly had fun today. It's nice to have people join us and comment, as always. You have any questions or have any advice for me that you want to see in this, or anything that you want added? Is there any mods that you think we should add? I'm kind of liking the vanilla playthrough. Kind of give you the experience of what you can do in the core of the game without adding anything to it. As I said, it is a great game just as it is. They're always adding more stuff to it, so let us know what you think, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.